Hey, welcome back to River Talk. Yesterday we had a lot of fun chewing the fat via telephone with Jon Provost, who was little Timmy from Lassie. And I just kind of laid back because I was caught. I wouldn't say I was starstruck, Deacon.
No, but you're caught up in the cool stories.
It's a cool story because, you know, Jane Wyman, married to Ronald Reagan and all that. And, you know, Wyman and just cool old folks.
Oh, yeah.
But he brought up the fact that he was going around doing autographs, and then it dawned on me that I've met him many years ago.
It just dawned on you?
No, I kind of knew it, but it makes for great TV when, ding, the little light bulb goes off. So Timmy is back with us.
All right.
Jon Provost. Back when the show was there at the height of popularity. I'm a little younger than you and Deacon, but
he'll rub that in, by the way, John.
Yeah, well, I can handle it.
Okay.
But I'm not that much younger. I was born in 1964, so you were going around the country making appearances, and Western North Carolina was a hotbed of like places to go in the 60s. Ghost Town in the Sky.
Oh, yeah.
You were
remember it fondly.
Well, you remember it better than I do.
Oh, boy. Well, I'm older than you. Anyway, yeah, no, it was probably, I would say, 64 or 65 or 66, somewhere in there. And the man, R.B. Coburn, he owned Ghost Town in the Sky, Frontierland down in Cherokee, and then he owned a place called Six Gun Territory in Ocala, Florida. So what he would do is he would hire, you know, celebrities like myself that were, you know, current, and we would go and we would spend a week or two at each one of his resorts. And they were all country western themed. Mm-hmm. And so it was great because I got to dress up like a cowboy. Jack, you remember, I was probably dressed up in a cowboy with a six-gun.
I was 2 years old at the time. I was dressed up like a cowboy, too.
Oh, well, you were just a little one.
Yeah, I was just a little one. But
you remember that?
I vaguely remember going, but
vaguely.
But
good.
That's a good memory.
My first movie, I was only 3, and I don't remember that. So, but anyway, yeah, you know, I used to love going up there, and you know, in Maggie Valley and down in, and also there was a place called Tweetsy Railroad
over in Blowing Rock, North Carolina. Yeah.
There you go. Well, we used to go there also.
Yep.
I would go and spend a week at Tweetsy. So yeah, and the blue, you know, the Smoky Mountains. Oh, come on, I'm getting homesick.
Well, you need to get back over here then and visit.
Yeah.
I know. I should. I as a matter of fact, I was in Maggie Valley up. They had reopened Ghost Town a few years back. It was probably about 5, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. And I went back for that, but I think it's been shut down again.
Yeah, it opens and closes. Tweetsy Railroad's still alive and doing well. That's the only one that has like really stood the test of time. And so that
that's great. That's really great.
So Tweetsy's still doing well, and during the Halloween season they do a ghost train, so they've somehow managed to survive. It's a shame. The last time I went was like early 2000s, and I like the original owner, like you were talking about just a moment ago, was still there, and he may have passed away, but he was there, and he'd really aged, and he would greet people as they'd come off like the ski lift, and he would hand out little badges. He was still there, and he loved it, and the park had just – it was a shadow of what it once was, but he was still there showing up for work, handing out these little sheriff's badges. Yeah, cool stuff.
How cool is that?
So there we go. Because and my mother still has the flyer because they did gunfight scenes, and so like on one side of the flyer is all the cowboy gunfighters,
and on the other side is a picture of me, right?
Yep, we've still got one of those in our family's trunk up in North Carolina.
Man, I've got one of those from Six Gun Territory in Ocala.
Really? Isn't that cool?
All right, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right,
those were a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Okay, here's the big question, John. I got to ask you the big question. Who got paid more, you or Lassie?
Well, what was the name of the series?
Yeah, it wasn't Timmy Martin.
I'm not going to say more. Okay, you want to? All right, you guys want the real story?
Yeah.
Here's the story.
All right.
Now, Deacon, you know Hollywood, okay?
No, a little bit.
Okay, well, here's the story. When we signed the contract when I was 7 years old, we were told that everybody, all the principals, the mother, the father, the kid, and the dog, everybody was getting paid the same. Okay, about 15 years ago, on eBay, there was a contract of June Lockhart's for Lassie for sale, an original contract. Well,
wow.
I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, found out that June Lockhart was making 3 times as much as I was making when they told us we were all getting paid the same.
That darn eBay.
And then, and it was original. It was signed, the whole deal. And then, but of course, Lassie got paid more than anybody because Lassie was the star. So we all knew that. But it was just, they didn't treat kids the same way as they treated the adult stars back then. And even though when people, that they didn't send 500 letters a week to June Lockhart, they sent them to Timmy. So, yeah, that's just a little inequity in the business, but hopefully those things are changing.
Yeah, but I guarantee at your age, back then, you're making more than I was making on a paper route. I promise you that.
Oh, well, I guess that's true too. But it's like everybody thinks, oh man, you made all this and you don't have to do anything. Well, Lassie is still on in reruns in over 50 countries. It's on in over 12 cable channels in the U.S. Any time of the day you can find Lassie on television.
Sure.
Well, I haven't gotten a residual payment from Lassie in over 45 years.
I know, man. That's the part that that's sad, really.
That's the killer. But
Right.
I'm not crying. It's not just me. It's Dennis the Menace. It's my 3 sons.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I understand that.
All of those shows because it wasn't in the contracts. And that's, I'm not crying about it. That's just the way it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you didn't have Paul Peterson back there fighting for you back in those days.
There you go. We sure didn't. And boy, Paul has really done a lot, and I've been involved. I was involved with his organization, a minor consideration from day one. So, yeah, he's done great stuff for and not just for Hollywood children, but for kids that work all over the country. We've passed laws, child labor laws, in different states, so it's all good.
Oh, he's a prize, man, no doubt about it. Now, look here. Rudd Weatherwax. I want to talk about him, too, because I was
Great man.
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. I was amazed. I got to meet Rudd Weatherwax and Lassie back when I guess I was probably 10 or 11 years old or whatever, and I brought him up to Huntington, West Virginia, brought Lassie to a grocery store up there. And so I met Rudd Weatherwax and Lassie and got to talk to them because the kids were all outside, and I snuck in and ran down the right aisle, and in the produce section, there he was. So anyway, and I got Lassie's autograph, and I said, well, how's this dog? I know the dog's smart, but how's he going to sign this little piece of paper?
Right.
And so he takes a little ink pad out of his pocket, and he puts Lassie's paw print on it and hit it. I said, man, how ingenious. And that was just Rudd Weatherwax. That guy was something else, man.
That is so cool because, when I started the series, I never knew either one of my grandfathers. They had both passed. And when I started this series, 7 years old, I'm a little kid, Rudd took me aside and he said, now look, here's the 2 things we have to do to work together. He said, I don't want you to bug my dog. He said, I don't want you to pull his... He said, I don't want you to pull his tail. I don't want you to sit on him. I don't want you to bug him. And he said, and if you do that, he said, next year for your 8th birthday, I'll give you a Lassie puppy.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. So I tried my best that first year not to bug Lassie, and and what have you. And I did it, and I passed the test, and the next year he gave me a Lassie puppy. But the point I'm trying to bring out is Rudd he became my grandfather.
Yeah.
And he would like watch after me like he watched after his dogs, you know. I mean, he was super protective. And I learned so much from him. The main thing I learned from him was the respect the animals, respect the dogs. That's what he had. And I watched other trainers. We worked with alligators, and we worked with zebras, and we worked with every animal in between. And so I got to see all these other trainers, you know, working with their animals.
Oh, yeah.
Never saw anybody like Rudd. Rudd was incredible. I think he was the first dog whisperer.
Well,
you know, I mean,
yeah.
he knew those animals, and that's what I learned from him. He was a great man, and, you know, I loved him, and I would go and spend the weekend with him. When we were filming the series, Rudd had a 60-acre ranch out in Saugus, in Newhall area, out in kind of the high desert country in L.A., and I would go Friday after work, jump in the back of the station wagon with Lassie and Lassie's double, because we only had one Lassie at a time.
Right.
And then I'd go to his ranch, spend the weekend there, and come back to work on Monday morning. You know, because I just loved being away and being with the dog and being with my grandfather, Rudd.
Well, he was definitely the grandfather type. I'll tell you that. When I met him, he's such a nice fella. Now, we're going to carry this conversation.
We got to take a break.
Huh?
Yeah, we got to take a break.
Yeah.
Because you know, he said dog whisper, and I'm hearing a whisper that we got to.
Okay,
but it's a good whisper.
Down, boy.
Let's check out this video now from our good friends at Stunning and Brilliant.
Cool, man.